Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Once again, it is time for my client Alex's Dadbod to Daddy transformation vlog. If you guys would though, please give me a like down below. If you aren't subscribed or following, please do so. And drop me a comment down below the video if you would be so kind. Thank you so much. All right, let's get over to the training. These days still we're running, and he's on a mild cut right now. He's like, I want to start trimming down a little bit. We pretty much gained weight over a couple years. You guys have seen some of the before and afters. And so again, I may throw that up near at the end again so you guys can kind of see our 3 pounds of weight gain. He lost like 4 inches off of his waist while gaining 3 pounds. We put 100 pounds on his squat and deadlift. Right now, we're just training 3 days a week. He's got a lot going on. This is kind of one of my dad bod transformation type templates that I run for people. It's again, literally guys who need to make that transformation, who are super busy with their careers, wife and kids. I do have them do 3 days a week, right? We do 3 days a week. So we do a push-pull legs usually. In his case right now, we're doing flat bench. You guys notice we do 2 types of weights. We do a heavier AMRAP, but it's not to failure. We want 1 rep in reserve. Then I back the weight down and we do a couple higher rep sets. All right, then we follow up with incline bench, overhead press, and then triceps. So again, the one thing I am checking and making sure his shoulders don't hurt from doing the really wide grip incline. It's a great exercise. To do it wide for your entire chest, particularly your upper chest. But we do have to be careful of his shoulders. But his shoulders feel good, so we continue to proceed. So we do that, and then we do the overhead press. And this is a very old school type setup. That is 3 sets of each. For those who go way back in the day, this is how the OG powerlifters used to train for the bench press, like back in the 60s. Like a lot of champions kind of did that. They did an even mix of a flat incline and overhead press in their training. And it worked really well for raw benching, particularly if they use a real wide grip. But again, we do that for him because, again, a lot of these guys want that upper chest, right? They're looking to fill out a t-shirt. So we start talking about, the dad bod situation. They need to look like they lift in a shirt, So that's what we think about. You guys are out in a pair of shorts and a t-shirt out at the grill, right? Or out doing things. They need to have that upper chest. The chest needs to stand out. They need wide lats and they need wide shoulders. And then they need to have arms that fill out the shirt. So that's usually what we're looking for. So a little bit extra focus on that upper chest and shoulder area, never a bad thing. And then of course we're always going to do arm work. For him, arms have never been a weak link. So we only do like 6 total sets a week for his arms. We have 3 days, we have about 45 minutes. We don't have time to do 50 sets of curls. So the push day, we do 3 sets of triceps. The pull day, we finish with 3 sets of barbell curls. So for the pull day, we usually do a heavy single on the deadlift. We do 3 sets of pull-ups. We do 3 sets of barbell rows. Very, very simple, right? Covers our whole back. So if you look at the same thing, notice I always tell guys kind of 6 sets is our baseline. We don't want to go under about 6 sets a week for a muscle if we want to see good gains. I consider that to be kind of our minimum sweet spot for really good muscle growth, 6 hard sets. And that's literally what we do, right? So you see 2 sets of flat, 2 sets of incline. Right here, the 3 sets of pull-ups, 3 sets of rows. So we've covered the chest and the back from 2 different angles for 6 total sets, right? And then we just kind of fill in the gaps from there, right? Since those are all big compounds, we do the overhead work for shoulders. Then we do some lateral raises on this day. So we get, 6 sets for delts. Keeping in mind, we're doing all this pressing and pulling, so arms are being worked. But I still want to finish off with, 3 sets of triceps, 3 sets of curls, which is exactly what we see here. So for those who are trying to understand the pattern, this is kind of what we do. But in that case, I could count all the pressing and pulling as about 3 sets of work. Because again, we've done 9 sets of pressing. I think that'll count at least 3 sets towards triceps, depending on how you want to look at it. So then we do barbell curls, right? Just straight up normal barbell curls. Notice we do for him a full range of motion. We've got the wrist cocked back a little bit so that there continues to be tension on the biceps near the top instead of the forearms taking it, making them hurt. And he just does these really strict. I don't have him do cheat curls or anything like I'm doing. Just strict barbell curls for a full range of motion. And after doing pull-ups and rows, that's sufficient. He's got pretty good arms relative to his size. So that's all we want. We just want to be proportionate. We want to be thick. And that's what we're looking for in this sort of goal, right? For this sort of client in person. All right, so then we have a leg day because, again, got to keep the wife happy and you need a squat booty. Now, he's hit a 405 squat, so we're pretty good here overall. We got a strong posterior chain. But usually for Alex, we do 3 sets of squats, 3 sets of good mornings, right? So we've got the anterior and posterior, then we do lunges and reverse hypers. So again, the same thing, you tally the sets up. Not counting all the overlap for glutes and everything else, we end up with 6 total sets for quads and adductors, 6 total sets for hamstrings, right? All of it hits glutes though. And that's always going to happen. This is why I laugh when people think they need extra glute specialization. You're not doing enough squat pattern movements and with a full range of motion or enough hip hinging. If you need to start looking at secondary glute exercises, and I'm not saying I don't occasionally program them, but come on, people. You just get your squat up, right? And I would say that to most guys and most girls. Most girls, look, you get your squat up past 225, you're going to have glutes. But we're talking full range of motion. Guys, you get your squat up to 405, you'll have glutes. Not saying you can't further refine them, because again, even he's doing other exercises, good mornings, lunges, reverse hypers. But you should be good, especially if you have a reverse hyper also. Reverse hyper works wonders. And I'd have him do machine work here, other than he's got dumbbells. This is easy to do. He can walk over and just do lunges, but we don't have a real machine for this. So we work with what we have here, right? We work with what we have. So we do the lunges, then of course we finish up with reverse hyper extensions, which you guys know is a staple for me. I wish every one of my clients had one. I would have every human being on earth on a reverse hyper if I could have my way. And then of course I'll show his other transformation again. So I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.